Everybody's got a story nobody wants to hear. I'm Father Stephen with another story from Naum's neighborhood. This story is called Sometimes Sunday. Sometimes Sunday lived up to its name. There was something about it, something Maurice couldn't pin down. The priest had called Sunday the 8th day of new creation, a day out of time. Mo sat on the edge of his bed. The sun was coming in through Jana's new sheer curtains. Daylight for a change. Weekdays he got up and came home in the dark. But tying his Sunday shoes, saying, "And damn if it ain't a day out of time," the man loved Sundays. Sundays, he was a happy man. He could hear Jana, his wife, getting the kids ready. He couldn't wait to get downstairs and kiss their faces off. That's what he would say, chasing the two of them in circles around the kitchen table, them shrieking, him pretending he couldn't catch them. "I'm going to kiss your face off." All of them laughing, catching them up in his arms, their son Danny in one of Pop's arms, their little girl Amaya in his other arm. Who could resist? Jana, his wife, out of breath. Mo, now don't go messing up your church clothes, all three of you." Damn, Mo loved Sundays. Naum the priest said, "Every Sunday is a little Pascha. Every Sunday is the living icon of the resurrection of the Son of God. The past and the future, all the Sundays summed up and become the present. Here, this Sunday, today, this morning, for the likes of us, Fishtown folk. Can you believe it? Every Sunday, all the Sundays that ever were or ever will ever be, come together in our little St. Alexander the Whirling Dervish Orthodox Church, right here and right now in our neighborhood, for us, with us, and in us." Maurice Ignacio Peña believed it. Damn if he didn't believe it. Cuerpo y alma, body and soul, from when he was a kid. The 8th son of the 8th son. He used to tell his friend Getsy that weekdays were different. They were rooted in some other reality. At least they seemed that way to me. Getsy understood. Maurice missed Getsy. Boy had to go and do what he did. Lay his head on the tracks outside little Harry's junkyard. Maurice tried not to think about it. Sitting on the edge of his weekday bed in the dark, not even a street light coming in the window through Jana's sheer white curtains. Lacing up those damn steel-toed putty factory work boots. Fingers stiff from working double shifts in the unheated factory cellar. Stop it, he told himself. Stop it, man. Little gratitude, you. Complaining with what all you got? You complain because you forgot to thank God. Thank God you got a family to love you. A family for you to love and a job to go to. That's why you complain, because you forget. It took his mind back to what his mother, Mariah, used to tell him when he complained as a kid. The people who murmured in the desert of sin never got to the promised land, son. Read him the Bible every day, sitting on her lap, looking at the pictures, even after he could read himself. Weekdays, Maurice was up and out in the dark. Be another hour before Jana and the kids had to get going, her to work, the kids to school. Somehow, them being able to sleep a little later than he was able to sleep, that was a comfort to Maurice. Never got to worry about that. My Jana's the best. Maurice always said when it came to his wife and family, he plain lucked out. Luck, what he told the men at the factory, told himself 10 times a day. Luck got nothing to do with it. God is good all the time. God blesses me. Thank you, God. Thank you and thank you. Now, most part, it was barbarous on the factory floor. Primitive was the way he thought of the surroundings. Physically dangerous, and you better damn be aware of your back. Situations that made men sweat and come at each other in some primitive kind of way. The things they said about women, about God, about the work, what they'd like to do to the boss, about life generally, the way they treated each other. Hard makes hard, stone against stone, nothing meaning nothing makes life nothing. The dirtier you got, the more macabre your injury, the better you said you liked it, just for spite. Spite whatever spear to end it up in this dungeon in the first place. Not easy to understand unless you've been caught up in it and let it have its way with you 8 hours a day, never even realizing who it is you're spiting. Makes you forget there are children and clean sheer curtains and civilization out there. Maybe even forget what you got waiting at home. Life draining is what it is. Life draining. Makes you forget you got a life. Forget your people. Forget why it is you're working, where you're really from, where you're going, who it is you're really called to be, and who it is that's calling you. At lunch, Maurice told his brother, not out of the ordinary barbarous, just regular everyday barbarous. A few of them got an idea there's more. The one boy, Billy Marco, kid's a citizen. He's the one told me, sitting on the dock at lunch, about the Orthodox Church. Catholic kid, though. Billy got married there at the Orthodox Church. Remember him? Got the money stole at his wedding. And they got that Walter over there, the Orthodox dude, like a monk all day alone in his payroll office. And Getz, you remember, Getzy from the junkyard, told me after he'd been to services at the Orthodox Church, something there at that little Orthodox church, those couple of times he went with little Harry, the only black dude at the junkyard, Getzy, remember the man, a Marine? Those three all been to liturgy. Getzy, Walter the payroll monk, and Billy the kid. They got some sense of the elevated. But mostly on the factory floor, man, it's a cruel crowd, cruel. Feed off each other, make each other mean. 6 days a week soaking up that dead-end dog-eat-dog. I say, hey, man, what you planning on doing with your life? Just hanging out. That's what they want to do. Not me. My life's got to mean something. And now we working all this overtime, Saturdays, double shifts. And Reuben, you know what, Reuben? I ain't complaining. Me and Jan could use the extra money. Maurice's brother Reuben said, they think you're black? All black? Maurice said. Who cares? Some know we got some blood. Some know we're Afro-Latino. Shit, Rube. One dude from the loading dock knew I was Dominican because he eats here too, loco pesos, and heard me ordering in Spanish. The two of them standing in line. Reuben said to Maurice, yeah, but this place is Mexican, not Dominican. Maurice opened the cooler and got out 2 bottles. Yeah, but the cook's Dominican, and see, he grills the chicken on the open flame like we do. Reuben lifted his bottle and said, long as they sell Negra Modella, took a swig and said, Just some creamy cheve. The chicken, Maurice pointed to the chicken split down the middle on the wood-fired iron grate grill. Stuff is so good. Sounds good to me, Reuben said. You order. Maurice was the 8th son of 8 sons. It was odd he was the only one who cared to remember his Spanish. He told the woman, "Dos platos de pollo con res amarilla, por favor, y dos cervezas onde yinga beer." You're not drinking? Reuben held up the Modelo beer. Ginger beer, man. I got to go back to work. I'm doing a double. Indoor picnic benches far enough apart. Celia Cruz on the speakers, and nobody using their hands for talking gave audible space enough for privacy. Plenty of napkins and hot sauce. They paid at the register and found a bench. Reuben opened the lid on the styrofoam tray. "Jana, know what you're up to? What you're thinking of doing?" "I was a priest," Maureen said. "Man, for me, be like every day be Sunday." Reuben said, "Well, brother, you are, as Mom always was pointing out, you're the 8th of us 8 boys. Pop was 8 of 8 brothers. Maybe it was meant to be. Mom always said 8 was your number." Mariah told her 8th son, "Write this down, Maurice. Make a list." And Maurice still had the list. He hand-printed as a boy his Nanito list. He kept it in his Bible. A boy came into God's covenant, circumcised on the 8th day. Moses finished ordaining Aaron and his boys on the 8th day. Israelites sacrificed their first fruits to God on the 8th day. A leper got healed, was declared clean on the 8th day. When was the Ark of the Covenant brought to Solomon's temple in Jerusalem? On the 8th day. Ezekiel the prophet purified the altar on the 8th day. And weren't there 8 souls saved by water in Noah's Ark? And Maurice, King David himself, was the 8th son of Jesse. Finishing their chicken, Reuben tilting the bottle, doing his best to drain one more drop, Maurice said, "And as to Jana and the kids, I talked to them about the possibility of being a deacon or a priest. She said, if I had a calling, I should follow it. I asked her, do you have a calling too in that direction? I mean, we ain't missed a liturgy in 5 years, more. And that's all her. The girl won't let us miss." "What'd she say?" Reuben making like he didn't know about her having a calling. "You know she does. The girl loves God. She's into it more than me." "And you?" Reuben said. "Will knew, kinda. Had an inkling since you were a kid." "Weird little kid. Sacrifice. Give up your copitas, those little round chocolates. We'd eat ours real fast. Say, 'Hey, Mo, can I have yours?' Giving me your bag. How'd you call them? Chocolate con leche?" "Yeah, now I feel bad," Reuben said. "Never lied, you didn't. Even it cost you a beating. Told Pop, you're the one who did it. And you were always there. Dependable, man. Consistent to a fault you are. You still are." Maurice nodded toward the cooler. "Yeah, go get me one more." Reuben held up the empty Modelo. When Mo got up, Reuben said, "See, man, you're still the same. Come on, Mo. Sit. I was just kidding. Come on, one more minute." Mo was feeling tired. "Remember you always made us say grace, just like now? You remember what you said when I asked you why? Why we got to say grace?" Maurice put his head down. Said, "So we don't eat like thieves, 'cause it's all like communion." Reuben had a tattoo of their mother on his forearm. He rolled up his sleeve. Mama lifted his chin toward his brother and said, "There she is. I'm looking at her, sitting right there in front of me, in you." Maurice shifted in his seat. Reuben said, Tough some days, ain't it? Thinking of her, ain't it? That why you're... Maurice said, nah, not 'cause of Mama. Just feeling the pressure, time clock pressure, seeing the boss's face, punching in, selling parcels of my life to the clock an hour at a time. You remember when we got to hating, Reuben said, when we was teenagers, whatever group we was fighting with that week? You said we weren't raised in hate, raised in joy. Mama raised us in joy, she did. Maurice said, I love Sunday. I love church. I love the liturgy. Full of symbols, Reuben, man. You'd love it too. It is a symbol. It's a symbol of some other, better reality, at least to me. And maybe if we get to serve, me and Jana, maybe we can find some Spanish-speaking community needs a deacon or a priest. Now, no one knew Naum had gone in person to appeal to the bishop. He said, immersion in the liturgical life cycle of the church. It's already growing, Maurice and Jana, in a natural harmony with our people. Know most of the services, the Troparians. The people can't believe that girl's voice. Keeps her kids in hand, knows all the tones, too. Bishop said, are you suggesting some kind of alternative to seminary? Hirasi, Naum pleaded. The mysteries predicated on getting to know the needs of the people over an extended period of time. I mean, they haven't missed once in 5 years. Let him be a deacon for a while. It just makes sense, doesn't it? Servants raised in and for the community they're going to serve. The bishop said, and this program will be conducted by you and the people. Naum said, the people, the bishop said. Naum said, yes, Hirasi, mostly the people. Hirasi said, no, Naum, no, if I do it for one. Maurice was stacking the styrofoam trays, wiping the tabletop, getting stuff ready for the trash. He told his brother, I'm just feeling the pressure on my neck, the time clock, the boss's ugly face, punching back in on time. You talked to the priest? Naum said. Maurice said, why? Why embarrass him? Or me? What's he going to say? You never know. Maurice said, nah, my calling's waiting for me back at the putty factory, or wherever. He stopped himself and said, there I go again, complaining. With the family and everything I got, forgetting to thank God. That's why. Just got to keep reminding myself, be grateful you got a job to go back to, I suppose. Reuben said, okay then, what about that other thing you're always telling me? What other thing? Perseverance? Serving God's people wherever? You can't do that now, where you are, wherever you are? Maurice said, I can. Reuben said, still makes you mad though, don't it? Sometimes, Maurice said. Okay then, I guess sometimes you're going to quit punching in over there, or you're still going to show up sometimes, Sunday. Mo said, Si, jefe. Good thing you said yes. Maurice Ignacio Peña believed. He believed cuerpo y alma, body and soul, from when he was a kid. The eighth son of the eighth son. Sometimes Sunday lived up to its name. The man loved Sundays. His brother Reuben told Maurice, you keep punching in, brother, and you just never know.